Well, playoff vibes are going on right now. The West could be a sweep, and the East, I don't know what the heck is going on. So I brought along a guest to talk about all the madness, and we'll get to that after this brief little intro. I'm Jason Hernandez, host of Locked On Ducks, and this is Locked On Anaheim Ducks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Your Locked On Ducks, your daily podcast on the Anaheim Ducks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
That was fun. Hi, everyone. I'm JD Hernandez, host of Locked On Ducks. Don't forget, this podcast is free and available across all platforms. And I have a guest with me who's usually to my other side. It's weird being on this side for one of these crossovers, but if you're on the audio side, you know her, you love her. She's awesome. It's Sarah Avampato, host of Locked On Los Angeles Kings. On this side, there we go. There we go. How's it going,
Hi.
Sarah?
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
You mean fined, unlike certain players? Yeah.
Or suspended.
Or suspended, yeah. I mean, do you want to start with the West? Because that's been a BS crazy series in its own right.
I mean, why not?
I mean, why not? There are two former Ducks in this. There's former Kings in this series as well. So, is there a former King in this series? Oilers, Avs? I could have sworn there was one.
Darcy Kemper.
Yeah, Darcy Kemper. That's it, isn't it?
Maybe?
Who, by the way, has been out. Darcy Kemper's been out with injury, so in comes Pavel Francouz, who has no trouble with Edmonton. 3-0 in this series. Pavel Francouz has been great. We still don't know the status of Darcy Kemper as of yet, but let's talk about this series just at large. What do you make of this series being 3-0 and a possible sweep? Yeah.
I think it's hilarious, is what I think. It makes me feel not quite so bad. I mean, back up. I didn't really feel bad in the first place, just aside from like your general fan feelings of feeling bad, like when the Kings got eliminated, because we all knew they were overachieving. We knew that they were performing better than expected, particularly given the fact that like half of their defense was injured. So like the fact that they took Edmonton to 7 games was like a fun treat for everybody. But you know, still, you know, there's the part of your brain that's like, I want them to win the whole thing, even though you know it's not like plausible. But it makes me feel less bad about the Kings losing to the Oilers, because even if they had won, and you know, theoretically, if they had gotten through the next like they wouldn't have just been here like getting decimated by the Avalanche. Like, so
Yeah.
I'm glad it's not, you know, my team that is currently getting made to look stupid by the Avalanche. I do feel like marginally bad for Connor McDavid, who just like keeps climbing that mountain and keeps getting shoved back down it. But you know, it's fun for the rest of us to watch.
Yeah. I want to talk about that game 3 for a second, because you just mentioned Connor McDavid, who scored in the first minute. The first minute, it was a nice goal too. And then literally 40 seconds later, Evander Kane had to be. That was a dumb play.
He had to be Evander Kane. Like, yeah.
I mean, that was a suspendable hit, wasn't it?
I mean, yes, because he got suspended.
Yeah. Yeah. Newsflash: Evander Kane suspended for 1 game. So I'll make the joke like everyone else has. Evander Kane has been suspended for the rest of the playoffs, because they're probably going to get swept on game 4. I thought it could have been 1 or 2 games, but you know, playoff suspension, and 1 game is enough. I mean, is 1 game enough for that kind of hit? I tend to say, sure, I guess. I mean, it was a dangerous hit on Nazem Kadri.
Yeah, and I mean, people have like, this is one of those where it's like, no one wins, like, because people have definitely made the point that were it the other way around and Kadri was the one who hit Evander Kane, Kadri probably would have gotten more than 1 game just based off of past reputation. But at the same time, Evander Kane also has a reputation. Like, doesn't exactly have a reputation as being the cleanest player either. But you know, Department of Player Safety is just like throwing darts at something and you get an outcome. So
Wait,
of course that's
let
how it
me
ended.
roll this die really quick. This D6. Oh, it's a 1 game suspension. You rolled a
Exactly.
1. You rolled a
Exactly.
1. No
Yeah.
+1, no +2 here. Sorry.
No. No.
I don't know what kind of roll that would be. What category would that fall under?
Magic.
No, I don't know about. Well, maybe magic. I guess it depends on who's running Department of Player Safety these days. Yeah, let's go with that. So, I tend to think 1 game isn't enough
Yeah.
because of the prior stuff that Evander Kane has done, because of some of the prior dirty hits he has made. I mean, he isn't a clean player by any means. We've
Mm-hmm.
seen this throughout the playoffs. You saw this firsthand against the LA Kings. He made
Mm-hmm. Of
some questionable hits there too. I
course
think
he
he
did.
got fined for 1 game during that series
Oh yeah,
against the
that's right. Yeah,
Kings.
because he didn't he do, or was that someone cross-checked like Phil Deneau in the head? Oh
Hmm.
no, no,
No,
that was
wait.
Darnell. Wow,
Yeah,
Darnell
Nurse got
Nurse
suspended. That's
head
right.
butted him.
Right.
But yeah, no, that whole series was just a mess. I'm glad that the Kings, again, I'm not glad, but
Yeah.
this is so much nonsense. And the Kings got eliminated. No one really got hurt. Like they're all recuperating over the summer and whatever.
Speaking of getting hurt, we're getting word that Kadri is out for the rest of the series and could be out for the rest of the playoffs. He was seen leaving the arena in a cast or a splint on his shoulder. That's not a fun injury. I can tell you from, yeah, it hurts. It hurts. And you can't really put any weight on that. So, do you expect Kadri back?
I mean, he's a hockey player. If he can physically even half do it, he's gonna. If the Avalanche, I mean, if when the Avalanche make the Stanley Cup final, like it's gonna be really hard to like. I mean, I think about it from the Kings' perspective of Drew Doughty saying, "Listen, if this team made it to the conference finals, if they made it to the Stanley Cup, I was coming back whether or not a doctor said I could or not." Um, it's real hard to keep a guy out of the Stanley Cup final.
That's true.
So I would think that if he has any like, if he can even like half play, absolutely he's going to lobby to come back. Should he? No.
No,
if
he
he,
should
if
not.
he's not healthy, if he's not cleared to come back, no, he shouldn't. But hockey.
Yeah, but hockey. One more kind of just a weird, kind of silly hockey question that some people have been saying online, and I don't know how I feel about this. Would this be precedent to say Connor McDavid has been the best player in these playoffs, right? Would
Yeah,
would
I
would
mean,
you?
I haven't watched all the playoffs, so something crazy could have happened that I didn't know about. But
Right,
yes,
but he's been the best player, arguably, in these playoffs.
right.
I have seen some people say, would this be possible to have Connor McDavid win the Conn Smythe? I'm like, no, because he's not in the final.
Yeah.
Um, I agree with that. I mean, I just want to strike that right away. You have to make the final to be a Conn Smythe winner. So theoretically, based on the last Eastern Conference game that we saw, I mean, we're going to talk about this more, but if the Oilers lose this series, Connor McDavid, no way he's Conn Smythe, right? Just want to.
No, I mean, this is definitely one where I'm like, I wish that they actually had more concrete rules about it. But no, he
Yeah.
shouldn't. You technically, sure, I guess he could, but I feel like you need to get to the final to win the thing. What are they going to do? Trot him out like in a suit at like, especially given that like they vote on it like during the last game. Like,
Yeah.
are you going to just fly Connor McDavid to all the elimination games just in case? Like, no.
Hey, you know what? I mean, hey, they're not out of it yet. You would know, host of Locked On Los Angeles Kings. The last time a team came back from an 0-3 deficit was the LA Kings back in 2014 against.
Yeah, well, Edmonton can just no. Edmonton's not going to reverse sweep this. No.
Yeah, I mean, Colorado is not the San Jose Sharks.
No. Like
No.
Connor McDavid's going to try to will that team to a reverse sweep, but like
Yep.
until he's also a defenseman and also a goaltender, like good luck.
Yeah, even though this is not our ad read yet, I bet that Bet Online would have like Connor McDavid plus or minus 30 minutes on the ice. He
Well,
should.
yeah, honestly.
He should. Anyway, we're going to head to the first intermission, but we're going to talk about athletic greens. So, I use athletic greens because you know that I hate taking pills, I hate taking vitamins, and I wanted more energy and I wanted better gut health and an optimized immune system, especially for all those giant burritos that I like to eat. As you know, you're shaking your head. I love those giant burritos, but I need to get better gut health and take my health into my own hands. And that is where Athletic Greens comes in. With one scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help start your day right. And AG has been used and trusted by leading health experts. It's recommended by pro athletes, probably like a Conor McDavid, and has over 7,000 five-star reviews. So right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. Just one scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a bunch of pills and supplements to look out for your health. So to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1 year, wow, 1 year supply of immune supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/NHL Network. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/NHL Network to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. All right. So let's talk about the other series because, why not, right?
Yeah, it sure is happening.
Yeah. So first two games, New York doing their thing. Igor Shesterkin being a wizard in net. And he was a wizard in net in game three. He did see over 50 shots in a loss. This was a game that had a lot of penalties and a goaltender getting the Academy Award, according to some of our colleagues, and I'll agree with that, for what can be described as the flop of the series. I don't know if you saw the replay of that. Did you see the replay? Did you see the GIF of that of Igor Shesterkin?
I did.
You did. Can I reenact it really quick?
Sure, have fun.
I don't have I have a hockey stick, but it's back there.
Yeah,
So just imagine
improvise.
Igor Shesterkin, just a little bit of tap because Corey Perry.
Obviously.
Obviously Corey Perry doing Corey Perry things.
Yeah.
So, our favorite instigator just did a little tap and Shesterkin went ah! Like that. Was it a little bit of embellishing there?
Yeah, but I mean, look. Like, there are so many opportunities for embellishment calls to be made. I feel like every game you look at someone and you're like, yeah, he sure did. And like, some people have made a good point of like, if it was X player who did this, the entire internet would be like on fire about like what a like cheap diver he is. But like, no one's talking about Shesterkin. Like, I mean, people are, but like, it's not the same as, whatever. You know what? Like, you sell that call, man. Like,
and then he big fat did it again. Two goaltender. I don't think I've seen a playoff game in recent memory with two. Actually, no, three goalie interference calls in one game. That I have not seen in my lifetime. Three of them. Two against Tampa and one against the Rangers. I think that one was a makeup call on.
Yeah, probably.
A little bit of a makeup call on Vasilevsky. Although he did get trucked. He got run over on that one thanks to someone else pushing him in, but it's still a goalie interference. Yeah, I thought it was a flop. I'm sorry. I think it was a flop. I know you're like,
I mean, it was a flop, but like, whatever. Like,
should embellishment have been called?
If you can sell it and not get called on it, kudos to you, man. Like, if you're not cheating, you're not playing the game or whatever. Like,
I don't want this to turn into the National Hockey League of Soccer, though.
Like, Vasilevsky could go sell a call on his own on the other end. He just didn't. I mean, no. I hate it. Like, I hate the fact that like guys are like, I mean, guys do that because they're not calling the rule book the way it should be called, and so they feel like they
Mhm.
have to exaggerate stuff just to be like, oh, hey, notice me, I got hit in the face. Like, if they actually called the rule book the way it should be, we wouldn't, like, people wouldn't feel the need to embellish because they'd be getting the calls that they're supposed to be getting. But they don't, and so here we are with, like, Captain Flops a lot.
Captain Flopslot. I am writing that down to call him that for future. I really shouldn't, because I'd have a whole section of fan base mad at me for using that. So Captain
I mean,
Flops.
that was not, regard like Captain. It was a generic hockey player. I didn't mean that Igor Shesterkin is Captain Flops a lot. I don't watch Rangers games generally, so I couldn't tell you one way or the other.
No, but we have a colleague that has seen him a lot, and I'm gonna mention the colleague here. So Hunter Hodes, host of Locked On Penguins, he's pointed out that yeah, Shesterkin has had a couple of these moves in the recent past where there's a little bit of embellishment going on, and he gets the call in his favor. So maybe there's something to that. I mean, I gotta talk to Hunter about that. But hey, maybe there's something there, or maybe he's also upset because the Rangers and the Pens. We won't go into that.
No.
No, no. Hi, Hunter. we don't want to upset our colleague here. But going to the end of that game,
Yes.
so going into the third period, Tampa's down 2-1. At that moment, I'm thinking, oh, this might be it. We might have two series go 3-0. It wouldn't be good for the league. And then you have that great comeback. Stamkos on, ready for this? A Corey Perry primary assist in the playoffs
Of
again.
course he did. Of course he did.
Stop me if you've heard that before. And then with less than a minute left, Andre Palat with a nice goal, the only even strength goal of the day, by the way. Andre Palat got the game winner at the last second. So, looking at the series at large, could that be a catalyst for this series? Could that be the turning point for Tampa Bay to just come storming back at this point?
No.
No, you don't think
I mean,
so?
I hate this series because I don't want to root for the Rangers. I don't want them to win. But also, like, no offense, Tampa Bay people, if you're out there, but like, you've won so much already. Like, let someone else win. It's like I don't want either of these teams to win because that's not okay. Um, no, I don't think Tampa does it. I think
I
they
think
might push it. They might push it to, you know, 6, 7 games maybe, but I don't think that they're going to come back from whatever they're down.
I will tend to agree with you that it's very tough to win 4 out of 5. I do think that this could be a catalyst to at least push it to 7 games. And by the way, that seventh game would be in New York, by the way. So that would make it very tough for Tampa to even win this series. But I feel like the way that New York kind of let this game go, especially in the last minute, there are those moments in the playoffs. We've seen it in the recent past where just one moment can turn around an entire series and an entire playoffs for any one team. We've seen that with the Kings recently. We've seen like one or two plays that can just kickstart a team. Or in the conference finals, the 2014 Western Conference Final. If it wasn't for that Alec Martinez goal in Game 7, then who knows what would have happened in that final in 2014. There are little moments. You have Justin Williams being a Game 7 hero. That could turn it around. I'll go even further back. 2007 Anaheim Ducks. You have a couple of key moments there. Even 2017, like recently, the Anaheim Ducks, they had that comeback on Catella. They would have been, I would argue that they would have been down bad in that series. I think if it wasn't for that comeback, the Ducks lose that series to Edmonton. So you never know, like one set of plays could really generate something. I feel like this could be it. So at the very least, I think that could push this series to 7 games. But Game 7, anything goes. Who knows what could happen in a Game 7? And I hope it goes to 7 games just to see these two teams pummel each other even more. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I have zero emotional investment in the Eastern Conference. I literally want both of these teams to lose.
Well, for the content, I would prefer the Lightning to win just to have that context of who would you rather see raise the cup?
Literally
Corey,
anyone other than them.
like, do you want to see Corey Perry win his first one in 15 years? Or do you want to see Josh Manson and Cogs raise their first one? I mean,
Oh, I care about none of those things.
well, what former Kings are in the playoffs still, even?
Darcy Kemper. We
And
went
that's it,
over that.
right?
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
all four teams.
I think so.
I think so
Well,
too.
I mean, I'm sure there's always like a random dude who like the Lightning have like Eric Chernak, who was a Kings prospect, but I don't know that there's
I don't.
any like regular guys left.
Yeah, yeah. That's got to be rough. Ah. All right. Well, we're going to head into the second intermission. Bet Online is the one place that has you covered and the one place that we trust. Sarah, would you believe that the Colorado Avs are the favorites to win the Stanley Cup?
Yes, I would.
Is shocking, right?
Yeah, shocking.
Yeah, Colorado is the favorite. I mean, if you had some money, would you put money on the Avs at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying they're gonna win for years, and maybe now this time they won't disappoint me.
Maybe they won't. So, hey,
Yeah.
I mean, hey, we could put our money where our mouths are and say Colorado's gonna win it all. So if you want to put a bet down, then head over to Bet Online, which is the one place that has you covered and the one place that we trust. They also have the NBA Finals. I don't know if you care about the NBA Finals at all.
I
I
don't know
mean,
who's even doing the thing.
the Golden State Warriors and the Boston Celtics.
Oh, gross, Boston.
As a lifelong Lakers fan, you could
Does it
see who
hurt?
I'm rooting. You could see who I'm rooting against, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So for those of you in California, which is most of you because Ducks Kings crossover, if you want to put a bet on the Warriors, you can do so at Bet Online. Either use your laptop that you're on right now, probably. That we're on our laptops, right? Yeah.
Uh, Maybe.
Yeah. We can go on bet on. Oh, you know what else we could use? We could use our mobile device. Sorry. We could use our mobile device. That's a lot of messages. Our mobile device to go to Bet Online, which is the exclusive online sportsbook of the Locked On Podcast Network. And what should they do, Sarah?
They should eat responsibly.
They should eat responsibly and also gamble responsibly. Gamble responsibly, folks. I mean, I'm going to say it. Don't put money down on the Oilers winning the series, even if it is like a plus 6,000 and like a $1 bet could give you $6,000. No, bet responsibly. Save that
Yeah,
dollar.
yeah.
There goes the phone. I'll get to those messages later. Sorry, guys. All right. So we talked about the East. We talked about the West.
Yes. Also, before we move on,
Yes.
I forgot about a former Kings player. We could potentially have Stanley Cup champion Curtis McDermott.
Oh my God. Ducks fans hate him in general. Can you imagine seeing Curtis McDermott's name on the Stanley Cup because he played
It
enough
would
games?
be hilarious. He, you'll be shocked to know that I don't think he has played in the playoffs. He did get in quite a number of regular season games, but I do not believe he has seen the postseason. Shocker.
Curtis McDermott. Wow, going from Ontario Reigns' favorite fighter to Stanley Cup winning team. Can you imagine?
It would be, hilarious.
You know what's still hilarious to me? I saw this stupid random stat that Patrick Maroon has a personal series streak of 14. Like he's won 14 consecutive series. And we haven't seen that since before we were born. We haven't seen that since the New York Islanders. Before we were born, Sarah. So this is kind of like special in our lifetimes, I guess. Sure. Let's go with that, right?
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, you want someone else to win, don't you?
I don't want I want all of these teams to lose.
Even Colorado,
I mean,
even Curtis McDermott.
I don't care. Like whatever.
There's got to be a soft spot somewhere that
No.
would no.
No, I want Colorado to win solely because I've been saying Colorado is going to win for like the past 3 seasons, and I would like to stop being wrong. That's about it.
So that's who you have winning it. You have Colorado winning it.
Yes,
Um,
because why not?
and by the way, you are correct that he has not played a playoff game. In fact, he's been healthy scratched every game. You know,
Shocking.
he is on the roster right now.
Yeah, but he's not good.
You know what? Hey, go with me on this. Just okay, you ready? Kadri's out, right?
hmm
Just for shiggles. Just for shiggles. Put him in one game to fill the hole of Nazem Kadri and say, you know what, Big Mac? Go in there. Go in there right now and start stirring some crap up. Why not? You're
No,
giving me that look like, no.
because we don't need that nonsense in the game. We don't need people to stir crap up. I just need them to play hockey and score goals and be done with the series. Like stirring crap up is how we get like things escalating when they shouldn't escalate. Like just go play hockey.
He can score goals.
Barely.
He he scored 2 goals this season. Two. That's more than one. Two is greater than one. Why did I say that joke? I'll let you talk for the next minute while I ruminate over the horrible joke that I just said that two is greater than one.
I
Ugh.
don't even what I don't understand the joke.
You're the host of Locked On Kings. I'm the host of Locked On Ducks, and I said two is greater than one. I'll let you.
I literally have
Yeah,
no idea what you're talking about.
that the Kings have two and the Ducks have one, but
Oh,
yeah,
okay. Sure.
yeah. I hear that joke all the time, by the way,
Oh, well, sorry about your
all
life.
all the time. But it's fine. It's okay. Everything's fine. Everything's normal, right?
Obviously.
Yeah, yeah. Everything's normal. What else do you want to talk about? Like playoffs in general? Do you want to talk about the AHL playoffs for a hot
Sure.
minute? I mean,
Sure,
you
why
have
not?
you have Chicago and Stockton.
hmm
That's a thing going on, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. It's interesting watching that series as someone who has seen the Stockton Heat all stupid season long, because Chicago didn't see them at all ever in the season, and not only did they not see them in the season, but they didn't play anyone who also played them.
Right.
So like they're starting essentially from scratch in terms of like understanding their opponent. But it's the two heavyweights of the league essentially. Stockton had the league lead for most of the season until they lost their last game, and the Wolves won their last game and jumped over them to win, best in the league overall for the regular season. So game one has already been Dustin Wolf allowed 5 goals, which is something he's only done like 3 times this season.
Yep.
So it's interesting watching them like feel each other out because they haven't played each other. The first game kind of started not slowly, but you could tell that they're still trying to kind of learn the other team's tendencies. But as the game went on, like it kind of opened up. It's a fun series. It's still like a bummer to know that like had the Reign not had their roster like decimated by the Kings taking all of their guys and then not returning any of them, like the Reign
Yeah.
probably could have been in a different position. Also, just bad luck. Also, mediocre goaltending. Also, their like historically best power play just stopped power playing. A lot went wrong for the Reign, and it's a real
Well,
bummer to see.
yeah.
To know like they could have been here.
It
Also,
didn't help
like
when one of their biggest weapons got taken out in game one of that series. That didn't help. Alex Turcotte.
oh, was that game
Yeah.
one? No, that was like game three.
That was game one. Game one,
Was it?
Alex Turcotte got
Oh yeah,
injured
because
like
the dude
first
got
period.
suspended. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah, we're talking about former goal there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kiefer Sherwood. Yeah. But nonetheless, I mean, it kind of harkens back to how much different this whole playoff could have been if not for like certain
hmm
things. And I looked at that game one, and I kind of saw the back and forth going on between both teams. First off, great comeback by Chicago. Good overtime goal, by the way. So talk
It
about
was a
that
fun
overtime.
time.
It was a fun time. I did notice on some of the pictures, pretty good crowd that
Yeah,
day.
yeah. It was a what, a Friday night? Yeah, Friday
It was
night.
a Friday
So
night.
only hockey going on in the city. Yeah, it was a real fun game. It was, yeah, a good crowd for it. The game winning goal was just like a total just goof play kind of. When I talked with the kid who scored it afterwards, he was like, "Yeah, like he's like, yeah, I scored the goal. It was great."
Just threw it on net, right?
Yeah, that's literally exactly what he said. Like just your stereotypical pucks on net kind of kid with his answers, but
That's what we're taught. That's what we're
uh-huh.
taught learning hockey, right?
Yep. Yep.
What's one of the first things we're taught
Yep.
when
Go
learning
to
to
the
play
net.
hockey? Go to the net,
Mm-hmm.
put pucks towards net.
Yep.
Yep. The second thing we learned is skate hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't played in a while. Fun times. Um, just to kind of briefly talk about it because I do want to talk about one of my prospects.
Yes.
Mason McTavish is still playing, by the way. Yes, he is.
Oh, juniors.
Juniors,
Juniors,
OHL.
yeah. Yeah.
They're in the final against the Windsor Spitfires. They just won game 2 Sunday afternoon. So now that series is tied 1-1 going back to Windsor. And Mason McTavish is on a scoring streak right now. He has scored in every game except for one. So out 13 out of the 14 games Hamilton's played so far in juniors, he's scored in each one of them. I think he's going to come back with a vengeance next season. So watch out, Kings fans and Ducks fans. I'm just saying, Mason McTavish is going to come back with a vengeance next season. So I want to get that little plug in. You saw him for not. I mean, we saw him for 9 games last season. I mean, that kid's a menace, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not looking forward to him being pro for good. I don't like that.
Hey, Ducks fans aren't looking forward to Quentin Byfield for the next few years either. So,
Well,
hey, I look forward to our future Kings and future Ducks playing each other because, oh my God, there's so much talent there.
yeah,
I
it's
can't
gonna be
wait.
fun, but I don't want your talent to have talent.
Ah,
Why would I
that's
want good
that.
things for why would I want good things for the Ducks? They're the rival. I don't want your guys to succeed. That's the whole point of a rivalry, right?
Would it be more fun? But wasn't it fun to see both the Ducks and the Kings kind of killing each other in the playoffs, though? I mean,
I
more fun
mean,
for you because the
right,
Kings
yeah,
won
more
those
fun for
series,
me because the Ducks didn't win. Like,
right?
yeah.
But I mean, I feel like it's better for hockey to have the Gauntlet of SoCal back.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I just want one part of the gauntlet to be worse than the other.
No, no, no. I won't. You know what? 3 years from now, both of our teams are gonna have 100 points in a season. They'll face each other, and then we'll see what happens. I mean, knowing the Ducks' luck, they'll probably lose in the playoffs again to the Kings because that happens.
Yeah.
I'm just, you know, memories. Anything else you want to talk about before we wrap up here?
No, I'm good.
You're good.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good too. I mean, I got my fancy shirt on. By the way, my little Mighty Ducks shirt. They got to go back to that
Yeah.
logo badly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a whole other topic, but I don't want to. I don't feel like ranting today. I don't.
Strong choice.
Yeah, but I'm hearing that they're going to keep the WebD logo for another year.
Boo. Boring.
I know. You have this. You have this right at your disposal. You have this right at your disposal. Why? Then again, reverse retros next season. I want to see the Kings come back with that forum blue next season because that was one of the best reverse retros out of all of them.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what both our teams do. We'll make that another podcast. How about that? We make that another
Yeah.
podcast for later this month. We'll talk about our respective teams and what they should do for reverse retros because it could be fun to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
What
anything
else
is
we gonna talk
better
about?
than what the Ducks are currently trying to trot out. And like the Kings, all respect, but like are boring.
You
Like,
hated that reverse retro, didn't you?
no, I loved the reverse retro. I talked
I mean,
about
for
how
the
it was the
Ducks.
best
For the
one. Oh,
Ducks.
for the Ducks, I didn't hate it. I thought it was like cheesy, but in the like right, like
Yeah.
it leaned into being cheesy and like leaned into the whole like or what mid 90s aesthetic kind of thing. So like
The Mighty Ducks cartoon series.
right. So from a like generally do I find this aesthetically pleasing? The answer is no, but I thought it was funny. And sometimes that gets a lot of mileage is something entertaining to me.
Yep. And I think those jerseys sold better than the current webbed D jersey. But yeah, let's do that for later this month or later this summer. We'll talk about what our teams should do for reverse retro because I have an idea what I want the Kings to wear. By the way,
All
I have
right.
my
I can't
idea.
wait. I can't wait to hear.
Yep. In the meantime, where can the fine folks find your work online, and where can they find you on the socials?
You can find me on Twitter at Right Said Sarah. It's WRITE said Sarah with an H. You can find Locked On Kings on Twitter at Locked On LA Kings, available wherever you get your podcasts and also on the YouTube. And if you are interested, obviously you are because you are either a Kings or a Ducks fan. If you're interested in the Western Conference, you can hear me on Wednesdays with Jesper Master from Locked On Flames as we talk all about the goings on in the Western Conference on Locked On NHL, also available wherever you get your podcasts.
And where can they find your work on the Chicago Wolves?
If for some reason you care about that, you can find it at Canes Country, which is the SB Nation site for the Carolina Hurricanes, which is the affiliate of the Wolves. So you can find it over there.
Yeah.
Or on the Twitters.
And you can find me on Twitter. It's right down here. It is at StimpyJD. I'm getting the pointing down. So at Stimp, I got it down that time. That's my Twitter. And the show's Twitter is at LO_Ducks. You can find this podcast and her podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Odyssey, and hey, we're both on YouTube. So check it out. Give us a like and a thumbs up and all that stuff. So yeah. Sarah, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
As always, glad to be here.
And yeah. Quack quack. On behalf of Sarah and myself, I'm JD Hernandez saying have a great rest of the day. Please continue to be safe out there. Be kind to one another, please. And ducks fly together and quack quack, everyone.